am I up to today? Today I'm doing some work on the slotcar track, but scenery again. So I have this area which is 2 different levels on the track, and I wanted to put some sort of a hill. We have where the bend comes down here, and then we have this downhill section, and I wanted to fill in this area here, and I'm going to use spray foam. So what I've done, let me flick it. What I've done, I've got some of this paper that usually people at Amazon use it, and slotcar Union use it. It's just a heavy paper. I have some of this, and I've stuck it down. This is to protect the track. Yeah, I'm going to spray my spray foam in there and let it expand, and it'll expand right in there. It'll expand up into this area. I'm going to put a bit here as well, and it'll be put in here, and it'll expand up, and then I can cut a bit of features into this hill. And if I have enough of this expanding foam, that's the one I'm using, just normal expanding foam. If I have enough left, then I'm going to fill in this area here on the crawler hill, and then let it come up here a little bit, and maybe fill in a couple of these little gaps here as well. So sometimes one can, you'd be surprised, doesn't go very far. Let's see. So it'll go in there and it'll expand in there. I have paper in there as well, sellotape to the underneath of the board, because I don't want it going all over the under of the table. And this expanding foam will drip everywhere. So you're basically protecting your components of your table. Now I'm going to put a piece of paper here as well, just to protect this piece of track. So that's what I'm doing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the camera on a tripod. Let's see how this goes, good or bad. Let's see. Maybe look here, I have some sellotape, and I've made a little sort of a tent. And this is where my cables come out of my control unit and go in there. So I'll probably have to drill. But this is just to help protect the area where them cables come from. Okay, let me see. Let's get you guys on a tripod and we see how this goes. So you start by giving this stuff a good old shake. Can you see what I'm doing when I spray? Yes, to a certain degree. Now this is all a bit my usual standard of let's see how it goes. I've done this before, but it can go various different ways. Screw that nozzle in. Okay. Screw that nozzle in the top, and always use this stuff inverted. Hopefully this won't be too messy. Going here. Okay. Keep going. Now you can see, very quickly runs out. And that's it, that can is empty. I've only got one can. So let's see how that expands. Probably not enough. We possibly need another can to go on top here just to bring this up into more of a hill. But that's as much as you get out of this can. So keep that in mind, guys. I've said that before to you. You'd be amazed how little you get out of this stuff. You know, now it'll expand now. So I'll pause the camera and we'll come back in a while and see how far it's expanded. Well, here's the finished product. I have this piece here. I don't know where that came from. Overnight this popped up. So it's okay. Bit of a not great in there. Okay along there. Don't like having so many ripples, like someone put toothpaste or something, like a welding ripple along there. I'm going to, I'll cut that a bit with my knife, get some sharp little hill edges on it. Let me go around here. Cut this piece off. That's a bit over the track. I don't know. Maybe I'll cut it into a bit of a strange hill or something. I'll think about it. This bit works. I can get there's where my track control unit is in there, so I can bring my cables from there down. That worked. Happy with that. What I'll do is I'll put a tree there and I'll put a hut or something to hide the main track connector. I'll take all this off, do a bit of cutting, and then do a bit of plaster over this stuff. You know what I mean? I'll be landscaping this before I paint it, and then I have to plaster it as well. So it's just a start of this hill. It's okay. Again, on this one, I was wondering maybe I won't buy another can of spray foam. I have plenty of polystyrene left. Maybe I'll continue this with polystyrene. I can pack some polystyrene in there. I can cut a piece, or I can leave it there and just cover it over. No problem. You know, I could stick some foliage sticking out of that pit and just leave it as a sinkhole or something, or cover half of it. We'll see. Loads of options. Not a problem. But this is the project now. I want to get this sort of finished, simply so that I can get the track running again. You know, get all this paper out of the way and get the track running again. I've taken this, let me just show you what I've done here. I have taken this piece off. I have my borders in there for this. So I'm going to have to cut this piece, of hill, to move this hill back, so I can have the borders, and I can have a trackside fence running around here, with just a gap about that size between the fence and the hill. So this hill, I have to cut about that much out of it to move it back a bit. That's okay. That went well. So there you go. That's the ongoing process. I'm going to get to cutting this now, shaping it, and see what becomes of it. So I started shaping this stuff. I decided to leave that piece in. I'll have a look at it when I remove the paper, see how bad it looks. I can just cut it off then later if I want to. It's just sort of spouted out of a hole in the rest of it. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting and shaping, just using a junior hacksaw. And you know, if I want to, let's say a particular cut in the hill, I just cut it out like that. So I've been doing some cutting. I'm trying to get this ready for plastering and make it look not so. I've cut away those ripples, so when I plaster that, it won't look so false. But as you know, my channel being a budget channel, that's the only wastage I have. See, I'm wondering where did I put all these bits I cut off. Well, this is what I've done with them. What I've done with them is I will be gluing them up here. So this will give some contours to this edge. I'll put this piece in here. You know, just find pieces that fit, stick them in, bit of glue in, stick them in there, plaster over them. This just to make some, you know, this wouldn't be completely flat in real life, so just to give it a few contours. Same here, up here. I'll glue these down. And then I'm going to use plaster as bandage on top of this hill. So I'm going to put a piece here for the downward slope and glue it in. And then I'm going to use plaster of Paris, plaster cloth, to finish this. And I can mold that onto this. It'll hold all these pieces in even more secure than the glue, with the glue. And then it'll be ready for final plastering and painting. So I'll show you when I'm putting this bandage on it. I'll get these pieces glued in very soon. I'm going to tidy this up and I'm going to pull this paper away and see how this looks. It's hard to see. You know, you got to get the paper out of the way to really see how it turned out. So that's what I'm going to do next. Now, what have I done? Well, as usual, I've got all my blades for my knife. Can't find the knife. So I'm going to have to do this the dangerous way, which you shouldn't do really. I'm just going to use that to start cutting away this paper, this thick paper. And then I'll get a bit closer and I'll cut it in a bit closer and see how it all looks when we take it away from the track. Oh, let me just pull it off. I'm very intrigued to see how good or bad this turns out. It's really going to be kind of interesting. Let's see if this piece worked out the way I hoped it would. I think it did. Give me the blade. I'm just going to cut this piece out here and see if I have direct access to where my cables go. Okay. Now, is there anything blocking that? No, we're good. So as I said, there's my control box. My cables come out there. And we'll just go through there into the hole and down so I can wire things up. Happy with that, that's good. Right, I'll continue on cutting this out with this little blade. And we'll see if it's good or bad. You never really know until you do this part of the process and you can have a look at how things look. And then it can be messy pulling this paper out. Some of it ends up stuck to the polystyrene, of course, the expanding foam. But that's okay because I'll be plastering over it and putting scenic stuff over it. Let's see how all this turns out. This corner for me was quite important. I wanted this corner to look well, because otherwise I just had this hole on the track. Yeah, I can bend that in there. That's okay. I'm happy enough with that. So yeah, I'll get my blade and I'll cut around there. So this corner is going to have a hill on it, which is the plan. The track curls around this hill. So I think that will be okay with a little bit of modelling. I'll have to somehow bend this piece down and maybe hot glue it or something like that. But that's, yeah, I'm happy with that. I think that'll look fairly realistic when I plaster it and everything. Okay, I'll continue on with this, guys. After the foam has gone off and gone hard, the expanding foam, I then cut some interesting grooves into the foam just using this knife, or any knife you want to use, you can use. I just tidy up where it goes here. Then after that, when I have the grooves I want, here's the piece I haven't done yet. I've plastered this. I just get sandpaper. This, I think, was this 100 grit sandpaper, this one is. And I just sand it down with the sandpaper. I'll show you what I'm doing here. It doesn't have to be perfection because it's going to be covered anyway. Now, some expanding foams are very cheesy like this one. So you use more foam, you use more filler on it than you would on the one that is a better expanding foam. So you have different brands. So try and find yourself one that goes quite good. I'm going to bring this down a bit more now. And what I do then is, I'm going to show you very quickly. Now I've done the same. Let me show you this hill. This is going to go for both of these posts for the first few seconds. I've done the same with this. I've sanded it down. And then what I do is I get this stuff here. Universal filler. And it's just this type of filler it is. I'm only going to do the top piece of this because I want to vacuum here. But then you put your filler into your shapes, and it'll get it to go into anywhere that you can still see all those little little cheese holes all over your expanding foam, like here. So this stuff will fill in those holes. You might have to do a couple of light coats maybe, instead of one heavy coat. So you can do it and then come back to it and redo it. And you can bring this right up to here. You can bring it right up to here. So then if you have grass on the track, it'll blend nicely with the hill. And the ideal way, see that there? The ideal way is to remove your track on top as well. I've just removed the track on the bottom here to show you how I do this. And very same thing, same stuff on here, paint it on, and then we're ready for painting. So I wanted to show, that's how far I've got with this piece. Needs a bit more sanding, and then I'm going to start painting. So I'll be painting this piece, and I will be painting this piece. So guys, if you're looking at this pre-post, I'll follow on now with the painting of this, or I'll show the painting of this. Same method for both items. Well, thanks for watching the last posting, which is mainly about this area here. And I've showed you how I plastered it. So the next thing I'll be doing will be painting it. And I will also be painting this hill, the main hill that I built. So I get back to doing a bit of slotcar stuff. And then I will post the painting of this hill and this hill. I have a few slotcar things coming up, I think, in the next week. And I'll have a run with my TRX 4M. I'll have a run with this car in the local park. This RC car and the crawler in the local park. Not actually a crawler, it's more of a trail truck than a crawler. Anyway, that's it guys. Thanks for watching this one, which was mainly about this guy here. And I'm happy with how that's looking now. So I'm going to get to painting it and painting this behind me. And then we're probably done with scenery for a while. A few things I have to paint up as well. Let me flick you around. I've added some pieces on here, which I will be painting. This is just to aid the crawlers getting up hills and to make it a bit more difficult and a bit more interesting. So I'll be just painting these, making sure they're glued in. These are glued in. Make sure they're glued in properly, and paint them up. Maybe paint the ends. They're a bit too clean looking. Paint that a little bit brown wash. And then I found a few stones. I haven't put them on yet, but I might glue a few stones around the place as well. Okay, there we are. That's it. Thanks for watching that post. I don't know what that was, 10, 15 minutes, something like that. Next one, on scenery, the next one will be the painting. Same as these. And then we're probably almost done with the scenery then. I'll be doing more hills and stuff. I'll show you little cuts as I finish different various hills. If I do something like a log climb, I'll video that. But hills like these type, I think we're nearly at the end of this. So I hope you enjoyed my build of my polystyrene and cardboard and plastic and paper hills. And let's move on to some slotcar related stuff now and some actual crawling.